I'm the type of gamer that likes to play the game and watch the cutscenes, but not really read any files, or notes, or really look up any lore for that matter. So I had the brilliant idea to talk about the game's story from yours truly, from my point of view, because I pretty much have all the qualifications, am I right? I mean, I got the game, I beat it multiple times, and I have a YouTube channel. So here I am bringing you Luigi's Mansion Explained. I'm low-key more of a Luigi guy than a Mario guy because 1, we're both tall, 2, we're both lefties, and 3, we both have killer Italian accents. Oh look at me, I'm a Luigi, that's a spicy meatball. He's following a map that looks like I fucking drew it for Christ's sakes. I don't know how he found this mansion with a first grade drawing trying to pass as a map, but we try the front door and it's unlocked, so my man Luigi just walks in like he fucking owns the damn place. The place is looking pretty empty until we see a key fall from an orange dust cloud, and then the fucking ghost goes through the door. Like, we all know that's a fucking lie, alright? Ghosts can't go through doors. So this must be like Super Ghost or something. I don't know, man. They've evolved.
Ghosts can't go through doors, stupid. They're not fire.
We grab the key and enter the room that the Super Ghost went through, and Luigi is shaking so damn much because he knows that he's gonna have to pay for the ghost hospital bill once he puts a hand on this ghost. But before we have the chance to give him a fucking fade, this old man with a vacuum backpack interrupts the throwdown, effectively saving the ghost's second life. The old man blocks the ghost's punch with his face.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
And the ghost ends up getting away. The old man's name is Professor E. Gadd. He asks us what we're doing here, but Super Ghost calls his goons, and now we're outnumbered. Luigi and Gadd are both street smart, and they know that they're about to get jumped, so we run out of the mansion and back to Gadd's lab. Apparently we won this mansion in a contest that we didn't even enter, and Gadd is all like, well, that sounds fishy. Like, yeah, no shit bro, but this game came out in like 2001, and scammers had to be creative back then. They actually had to call Luigi on his landline to get his address to send him this map. Gadd tells us that the mansion just suddenly appeared there a few days ago, and I mean, hot damn. That makes me want to get a Ouija board out to summon some demons to build my own mansion, shit.
Okay, people! We got 24 hours to build us a ballpark! Can we do it?
Gadd tells us that he wouldn't be excited about winning a haunted mansion, and I'm like, ho, hold your horses there, old timer. You don't really know who you're talking to right now. I once talked shit to a haunted staircase in Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum, so I think I'm more than qualified for this mansion. Gadd tells us that he saw a guy that looked like us come by earlier and that he just kind of ran into the house, and that he never came out. So I'm thinking,
oh no, that really complicates my life.
Whoa, let me get this straight. My man Luigi here wins a mansion and Mario's just all like, oh boy, time to go check out this mansion that isn't even mine without telling my brother, as if he's the fucking one that won it. Like, nah, I don't even care if this mansion is haunted. Man, that's fucked up. At least let my man Luigi go in first. Fucking rude ass over here. I hope the ghosts are torturing him. Luigi is used to Mario walking all over him though, and he's all like, I have to save him. So Gadd teaches us how to become Ghostbusters. And then when we're ready, the old timer waves goodbye to us like a proud parent watching their child go to school for the first time. We find Toad crying like a baby back bitch, and he basically tells us that Peach sent him here to come find Mario, but the ghost scared him. So instead of going back to Peach and explaining that the mansion is haunted and calling for backup, he just decided to sit there and cry. We tell Toad that we'll take care of it, and we go back into the room that the Super Ghost tried to jump us in, but this time they don't know that we got that hyperbolic time chamber training. I'm talking like, we were gone for 5 minutes, we come back and we're powered way the fuck up, man. So we sucked them all up. We eventually get a call from Gadd, and he tells us that the next room is a ghost that isn't like the ones that jumped us. That this ghost is like some advanced ghost shit. And oh boy was he right, because we run into our first little mini boss fight and this guy here is just trying to read. So we slap the book out his bitch ass hands like, who the fuck reads? Fucking nerd ass over here.
What a nerd. Look at the nerd. Look at the nerd. Look at him. Look at the nerd.
Who you calling a nerd, man?
I'm sorry, what?
And then we slurp him up. We then go to the next advanced ghost, and it's just this lady trying to get dressed up so she can be the prettiest girl at the party. But we open a window and she doesn't like that, so we end up sucking her up too. After that, we run into a baby ghost who has a surprisingly good vocabulary for a 1-year-old. And this is the area's big main boss fight. And this baby be talking his shit, so you know what your boy is about to do.
Oh, you're going down, baby.
He somehow distorts reality and makes Luigi super small and then starts shooting these very slow rocking horses at us. I'm talking.
Watch out!
And then tries to hit us with his balls. And I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but we suck his balls up and spit them back in his face, which gives us an opening to try to capture him. He breaks free and starts doing the worm around the crib, but we just rinse and repeat and take care of this baby.
Who's the baby now?
After beating the boss baby, we get back to Gad's lab and apparently this crazy motherfucker somehow captures ghosts in the vacuum, deposits them into this machine, and then somehow, some way turns them into a painting. I have literally no idea how this makes any sense, but bro, remember, this game came out in 2001, alright? Times were wild. Super Smash Bros. Melee came out, Halo just came out, Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, 9/11 happened, shit was crazy. Gad waves us off again as if he's Miss America on a fucking float, and we go into a newly opened area where we see these two dancing ghosts, and I'm like Jimmy Jr.'s dad out here, man. Ain't no dancing when I'm around.
Don't tell me not to dance, Dad!
We move on to the next room where I see a suspicious looking poster that literally says danger on it, so I ignore the obvious warning signs and suck up the poster, and of course I can't not press a button, but this button releases a shit ton of boos that run away at the sight of our vac pack. Gad calls us and tells us to go back to the lab where he tells us that Mario must have been taken by the boos. He tells us that the boos are stronger when they travel in packs, kind of like wolves or the predator, or even worse, child predators. He tells us that we have to capture the boos to weaken their powers, and then we get a new little function on our Game Boy. Basically, it's just a flashing yellow light if there's a boo in the room. Gad waves us off like we're leaving on a cruise, and we catch our first boo whose name is Boo La La, a second boo who's named Game Boo, a third named Taboo, a fourth named Turboo, a fifth named Boolicious, and a sixth named Bamboo. I swear to God, all they're really missing is,
and I feel terrible.
Dude, these names are fucking great. We run into this fortune teller lady where I think that's an eyeball where her mouth is.
What that mouth do though?
She tells us to find items of Mario's, and in return she'll give us hints about where he is. We enter this room with a big ass mirror and suck up a fire soul. This lets us shoot fucking fire from our vac pack.
Don't be near where I'm flame throwing!
We use the new flamethrower we have to light up this random ass candlestick floating in the hallway, and who would have thought that it's a fucking ghost carrying it? And not just any ghost, but a butler ghost who sends us on a wild goose chase to his room because he's actually afraid of the fire. We follow him to his room where he just kind of sits down and angrily rambles on about some random shit that we can't really even hear, all while waving the fire that he was just afraid of carelessly around. We capture him and we find Mario's hat, which means we now have an item to give to the fortune teller lady whose name is Madame Clairvoyant. Get it? Like clairvoyance? And she's a fortune teller. She tells us that Mario isn't alive, but that he's not dead. Kind of like me on a Saturday night. So he's in like purgatory or some shit like Moaning Myrtle, or like quite literally every single ghost in this mansion. The information she gave us was kind of a ripoff.
I'm sorry, there's absolutely nothing I can do for your son, but I can do the robot. That'll be $5,000. Good day to you both.
But we continue on until we start a band with Melody here, until we realize that she isn't really a good pianist, so we kick her out of the band. We fight against this thing, which I didn't even know that ghosts ate. I thought that they just ate the souls of the living, but not this ghost apparently. He gets a little upset when we suck up his food, which prevents him from getting a cardiac arrest, and he spits fucking heartburn fireballs at us. After we collect the fat ghost, we suck up a water soul, which now lets us use fucking hydro pump. So we douse the fire that for some reason is only on this door and hasn't spread throughout the rest of the mansion.
Fire can't go through doors, stupid. It's not a ghost.
We fight this dog ghost all while watering this plant because I gotta show all the women out there how to keep a plant alive. Ladies, take note. We look at the doghouse and it's a fucking Harry Potter portkey and warps us to the cemetery in the back. We capture the inhabitants and spawn in this Power Rangers Ivan Ooze looking ghost, which turns out to be the next area boss. During the fight, there's these shadow variants of the monster and we have to suck them up and then use our custom made shadow balls on the purple OG copy. My accuracy is just fucking shit, so I miss like 5 times. But But we eventually take care of Ivan Ooze here and we meet up with Gad back at the lab. We once again use his machine that turns ghosts into paintings, which I still don't know how the fuck that happens. And then he once again waves us off with this sense of pride that my parents never gave me.
Daddy didn't love me!
We get to the back of the mansion where we find Mario's letter, so I guess he had enough time to write us a letter before he got captured. But anyways, we go down the well and see a very nice hidden room, and Mario's in this kind of weird 3D moving picture. And hold on, wait a minute. He has his hat, but didn't we just find his hat? So did Mario just bring an entire wardrobe to Luigi's brand new mansion? Like, was he about to move in with us?
Man, so many unanswered questions.
We give the letter to Clairvoya and she tells us literally what we just saw. That Mario is trapped in a painting in a really nice luxurious room, so this reading was pretty much fucking pointless again.
You're about as useful as a cock-flavored lollipop.
We run into a ghost that is probably the only ghost that I aspire to be when I turn into a ghost. And you know I'm gonna turn into a ghost because you better believe that I have some people to fucking haunt. Just imagine this. I'm haunting your ass already, right? And then I pull a Frieza and show you what my true final form looks like. You see that I'm a fucking bodybuilding ghost as well? You're fucked, man. I'm probably the only ghost that will be able to go through doors. We get an ice soul so I could finally live out my real dream of becoming Elsa. And then we run into the smoking hot figure of a body in the shower and we kind of just open the shower curtains to take a peek. Like, Luigi, you dog. Bruh, I don't know how this ghost did it. Because me being a guy, but more importantly, a gym guy, I have that type of body dysmorphia where it's like seeing the opposite of what the ghost sees. So my body could look like the silhouette right here, but what I'm gonna see is my body looking like the real ghost. If you go to the gym, you probably know what I'm talking about. But we capture Miss Piggy and then we commit some good old well-deserved elderly abuse on this ghost.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
And then I get a fucking follow on Twitch, bro. Let's go. We shoot some pool with this chap, find Mario's glove, although once again he had both gloves on when we saw him in the painting, so I don't know how we are finding all these articles of clothing. We take the glove to Clairvoya and she tells us that Mario was captured by King Boo, and that's pretty much it. We fight these two twins and it's actually kind of impressive that they both died at the same age at the same time. I kind of wonder how they did it. Like, did they make a pact and drink the same Kool-Aid? Did they get the dinosaur treatment and a meteor just kind of hit their room? Or maybe since it's 2001,
no, wait, that's a bad example.
Our reward for capturing these two is Mario's shoe. And so we take it to Clairvoya again, and she tells us that the Boos are strong in numbers and that they are afraid of the vac pack that we got. This might be the single worst piece of information that she's given us so far. Gad literally told us this when we first ran into the Boos. At this point, I'm starting to wonder why she's even here.
What the f is this? Are you kidding me?
We get to one of the more confusing rooms, and this time we have to shoot the fucking moon with a space rock. It takes me a minute since, you know, my accuracy is still ass, but we eventually blow up the moon like fucking Piccolo did in Dragon Ball Z. We get a star from the explosion, so we once again take it to the self-proclaimed fortune teller. She tells us that Bowser is in the mansion somewhere, somehow.
Oh no. That really complicates my life.
And since we gave her every item that we could find, she says that her heart is now full and that she's ready to be captured. Although this bitch puts up a fight as if she didn't actually want to be captured. I mean, just look at this shit, man. We get to the balcony for the area boss, which is like 15 Boos combining like it's fucking Voltron or Megazords or some shit. They combine powers to try to jump my homie Luigi here, so we pull out our trap card like
Mighty Fusion Card!
So we used this giant ice sculpture of a unicorn to pop the big Boo into its individual Boos. And then we have to spray them with ice, and since there's so many of them, I just kind of spray and pray and these idiots just kind of like run into it. The problem arises when there's only one left.
You're never gonna catch me! You're wasting your time! Forget about it! Go do something else! See you next year!
It took me an embarrassingly large amount of time to try to catch this last Boo. I mean, just look at my health at the end of this. But we eventually capture all the Boos, and Gad calls us to tell us that he'll make dinner for us. My man over here is making pickled dandelions with barnacles and a diesel marinade. Like, okay, Ratatouille Chef Ramsay, shit, save some swag for the rest of us. We turn the ghosts that we captured into paintings again, and Gad waves us off like the homie when you're about to leave the club with the girl. We get to the door that would lead us to the next area, but before we could get to that door, lightning strikes the mansion and just shuts off all the power in the building.
In a world of complete darkness, the sighted are blind, but the blind can see.
This is bad because the ghosts really like the dark, so they start to run rampant. I wasn't even able to leave the balcony before your boy was about to get jumped. I get all the way down to the breaker room, which, just to remind you, I have been down there before, but for some reason the door is fucking locked this time. So we get to this random room and we get a call on a landline phone and they ask who's speaking.
Who this?
I ask the questions here.
This Matt?
No. Tell me, Chad.
This Kelly?
No.
So we say that it's Bowser, and they hang up immediately.
Oh, no thanks.
Only to call back again as soon as we hang up. I'm not too sure where they expected Bowser to go that quickly, but this time we say it's Luigi, and it turns out that it's Toad. He tells us that the power is out.
No shit.
And that he's scared. Okay, so like go fucking cry some more. What the fuck? Why do, like, okay. Then Gad calls us on the landline and tells us that there's a ghost that really likes rooms with mirrors, kind of like Bloody Mary. So I'm thinking, okay, I know just the room. I go into this room that quite literally has a mirror covering the entire wall, but I guess he doesn't like this mirror because he isn't here. No, instead he's in a room with this tiny ass mirror, which makes no goddamn sense. So we capture him for wasting our fucking time, and he gives us the key to the breaker room so we could finally turn on the lights, thank God.
I can see!
I can fight!
We run into King Boo and he gets a bit scared because he thinks that we're Mario. And then he's like, oh wait, you're just bitch ass Luigi, thank God. And then says that he wouldn't mind having us as a painting to match with his Mario painting. And honestly, I kinda get it, because I like to collect shit myself. And you obviously have to get the Green Ranger with the Red Ranger, or the Fire Red with the Leaf Green, or the Green Hulk to match your Red Hulk. But instead, he just kinda blows us away back to the foyer. We have a good old fashioned all male foursome with these three.
It's never gay if it is in Zimbabwe.
And then we get into this room where we have to use the elements to defeat the ghosts. When we do so, Gad calls us to tell us that the elements form a triangle like rock, paper, scissors. Fire beats ice, ice beats water, water beats fire.
Things that could have been brought to my attention yesterday!
We see this ghost sleeping on a bed that's upside down, so I try to do the logical thing and put her on fire, but nothing happens. So I think, well, maybe she's scared of wetting the bed. So I put some water on her bed and sure as shit, she wakes up. We don't like bedwetters, so we end up capturing her.
That's a sheep back there. Excuse me, ladies, I'm gonna go hang myself.
And then the next ghost that we run into is kind of like that demon in Demon Slayer that really loves pots. He wants to play a game where it's kind of like whack-a-mole, but instead of whacking him, we need to freeze him whenever he pops up. At the end of the game, he's upset that we clapped his ass and he's all like, well, maybe you'll fit into a pot, just like the Demon Slayer demon. We capture him and then, remember when I gave the women shit for not being able to keep plants alive?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I know the struggle now, ladies. I apologize. I am humble enough to admit when I'm wrong because...
Bar none, I am the most humblest. Number one at the top of the humble list.
We run into this ghost that is pretty easy to figure out. Just melt the popsicle and avoid the icicles. We then move on to one of my favorite ghosts in the game. He's an artist and has painted all the generic ghosts that you run into throughout the game, and you basically have to fight each class of ghost one at a time before you can actually get to him. Plus, he has an accent that reminds me of Hasselhoff in Dodgeball, and I love it.
Ihr seid alle Schweine! Ihr habt Schande über unseren Haus gebracht! Losers!
After defeating him, it's finally time to confront King Boo. He's admiring his artwork, which I respect, and then he starts talking that shit, calling Luigi an idiot for believing that he won a mansion in a contest that he didn't even enter. And I kind of agree with King Boo. But then King Boo is all like, alright, time to keep my word when I said I want a Luigi painting to match, and he turns our world upside down and sucks us into an alternate reality where a giant ass Bowser appears. This boss fight is actually pretty easy. We just wait until Bowser throws these explosives, and then we suck them up and shoot him back in his mouth. When you do so, Bowser gets fucking oh wait, it's just Boo inside a giant Bowser costume. Okay, because I was about to say, damn, Luigi's mansion is darker than I remember. We rinse and repeat until we eventually capture King Boo. We grab Mario's sleeping ass and return to Gad. He turns the remaining ghosts that we caught into paintings again, and then he flips that bitch in reverse and gets Mario out of his painting. I'm telling you, man, this man is a fucking wizard.
We're gonna kill Superman with a rock. A green rock.
I don't see rocks working on these space wizards.
Mario is spit out and Luigi starts to laugh / cry happy tears, and that's the end of the game. But wait, do you see this little ass house? This is Luigi's new house, and it only set him back about $46 million. And I'm actually surprised that this game in 2001 could predict the housing market in 2024, man. This shit is crazy. But that's gonna be it for me, guys. And I gotta say, this was probably one of my favorite Poorly Explains that I've done so far. I had a lot of fun making this one. It was kind of a nice change from the shooting games that I've been covering. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I have. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate every view I get, all the support I get, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.